Well, in about 3 more weeks, the streets of downtown Toledo will be packed for this year's Susan G. Komen Race for the Cure. This afternoon, we have Gretchen Awad with Susan G. Komen with us to talk about how important your registration for this race is, and Emily Zarecki, who we are celebrating this year. Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, every year you pick a in celebration of and in memory of.
We
correct?
do, yes. And we're so excited to have Emily allow us to celebrate her this year.
Yes, and you were on the show here a little while ago to talk about your book, Golden Scars, and so just bring us, if the folks missed it, you wrote a book about your journey.
I did. I wrote a book about my cancer journey, so I talk about everything from the initial shock of diagnosis, talk a lot about it, what it was like through treatment, just getting real, and then life post-cancer, and talked about just other challenges I've experienced and how that really helped me kind of tap into some of those difficult things to face cancer and just know I was gonna beat it.
Yeah, so and an interesting title, we learned Golden Scars has to do with using the gold to kind of put things back together, right?
Yes. Yeah, that it just becomes part of the story, and just ends up being a beautiful part.
Yeah, beautiful. So part of the reason why you all chose Emily here was because she does some advocacy work.
Yes. Yeah. Emily's been a part of the Komen family for a while, and what we love about our In Celebration and our In Honoree folks every year at Race is they're a part of the Komen story anyway, and they pay it forward, so to speak, right? So Emily has been part of the Komen advocacy group for a couple of years now, and joining Komen advocates, Komen staff, part of our mission team, survivors, every year in DC, meeting with delegates from all over to make sure that breast cancer treatments and care is equitable for all women and fair, and this is part of what Komen does. This is part of where those fundraising dollars go, is to make sure at those higher levels of decision makers that the right decisions are being made.
Right, so when you register, that money that, and that's why if you go downtown, it's great to have your signs and wave and show your support, but we really need you to register because it's all about finding that cure, and part of that is holding our lawmakers accountable, taking care of some things. So, what is it that you have really wanted to fight for?
Sure, I've really been so focused on wanting to make sure that the out-of-pocket costs for those diagnostic tests, that after you've had your screening mammogram and the radiologist reads something, there's something there. There are, out-of-pocket costs for those additional diagnostic screenings.
Really?
And we've heard stories of some women that put them off because of the cost and figure, well, maybe I can wait, maybe it's another expense first. And sadly, breast cancer is so much more, the treatment is more effective, and the survival when you catch it early. Early.
And that's what we always preach, that early detection. That's where you go and you get your mammogram every year, and that's why it's so important. So yeah, you get something that comes back that goes, oh, we need to look a little closer. Yeah, we should be able to just jump on that and take care of business. And do that. So, just to hear that there are these hurdles or, red tape even, these are the things that we gotta cut through. And there's some other things that you're also advocating for in DC too, when it comes to getting the right treatment at the right time.
Absolutely. There's another legislation going on right now about the STEP Act, where right now if your doctor prescribes a treatment, and there may be situations where you have to, quote, fail other treatments first before you can have the treatment that perhaps your doctor wanted all along.
Wow. So yeah, in these cases, the doctor is saying, this is the order that I'm writing, essentially. And then, well, I don't know if it's the insurance company or whoever comes back and says, kicks it back. Not yet.
Exactly, not yet. You need to start with this drug, maybe even go to a second one, and you have to, quote, fail first.
Literally, and that's like the term that's literally being used too.
Yes,
I mean, this has to fail first before we can get you to the thing that your doctor actually really wants you on.
Exactly. So it's frustrating, and to know that there are things that are barriers for women to get either the diagnostic screenings or the right medications that they know is going to work, but to know you have to fail something first is awful.
So you have spent time in DC, advocating for
Yes.
these things and making some headway with that too. I think we were chatting earlier and you said somebody has signed on and said, I'm going to support this.
Yes, yes. So when we were in DC in June, we met with a number of Ohio's representatives, and I learned from my partner that I was with that one of the representatives signed on to co-sponsor that STEP Act. So it's so exciting to know that being able to share our story is making an impact to show them that they need to sign on and do the work to get these bills passed.
These are real people, that this is impacting.
Yeah.
And again, we have to reiterate, though, that registration is super important. So the race coming up 29th, right? Sunday?
Yes.
Okay. So make sure you get registered. How do people do that?
Komen.org/NW Ohio Race. There's an 877 number you can call. You can email me. You can email our helpline. We'll all get you registered. And if you wake up on race morning and you realize you forgot, come join us. You can register on race day. We have T-shirts. They're ready and available. So any way you can make your way down there and bring family and friends, we welcome you. And this is what Komen does. There's the treatment, there's the care, there's the patient assistance program, and there's advocacy. And these are all ways that we are uplifting our survivor community and helping women live longer and healthier lives even after a diagnosis.
Yeah, and we often talk about those other things, the other ways of assistance, but we don't always get to the advocacy part.
Yep.
But it's so important because we don't know, when one day we're going to need that. We're going to need these laws in place for us. And so we thank you for the work that you're doing.
Absolutely.
And again, make sure you get yourself registered. Race for the Cure is coming up and on September 29th. So meet us downtown. Thank you so much, ladies, for being here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.